All right, hey guys, it is 2 degrees today, so this video is going to be a little quicker because I'm freezing. I forgot my hat and my mittens. If you are considering a move to Iowa, to the Des Moines Metro, and you're not sure where you want to live, then this video is for you. Today I'm going to be showing you around the suburb that is Adel, Iowa, and giving you the pros and cons of living here. My favorite memory of Adel and the time that I've been in Des Moines, it was contrary to today. It was like 100 degrees in the summer. I was showing a home in Wildwood, which is a really neat community. It's technically in Adel, it's outside of the town limits, but still Adel addresses, but I'll show you that here in a bit. Really large lots, lots of trees, beautiful houses. But it was a hot day. I was showing a house over there, and I was about to head home for the day. I had heard a lot about this ice cream shop that was called Billy's Ice Cream, which is just a few minutes that way. And I was like, yeah, I would love an ice cream cone. So I drove over there. You walk up to just the window. It's connected to a Subway. It's a little kind of like dingy looking store, but it has that small town ice cream shop feel. And I'm not exaggerating. This isn't recency bias. It was the best ice cream cone I have ever had. It was a flavor that they make in-house. They call it the salty dog. It was so good. But that's one of the biggest pros of living in Adel, in my opinion, is you get this really neat, you can see this downtown behind me. It's just a really neat, like, local small town feel. In Adel, I'm sorry guys. Hang on, I need to get back to my car. My hands are getting so cold. 1 second. Okay, now I'm here, and it is 3 weeks from when I recorded that last little blurb when I almost froze to death out in Adel. Weather outside is like 65 degrees today. Weather changes very quick here in Iowa. If you're not from here, if you're not from the Midwest, that's something you should know. It is spring. We'll probably get one more phase of winter before we get warm for good for the year, but today's a beautiful day. 3 weeks ago when I was recording this video and almost gave myself frostbite, not so much. A lot has happened since then in my life. I won't get into all that. This video is about Adel. It's not about me. But there's a reason that it's taken me so long to actually get this out there from last time I recorded. I don't even remember where I left off. I should have gone back and rewatched that first part of this video before I recorded this. But I'm just going to go through the list for you of the pros and cons of living in Adel from an insider who lives in Des Moines and does a good amount of business in Adel. I'm a real estate agent. If you are moving to the area and you need someone to help you navigate that process, someone to talk to, if you have any questions at all, want to talk through where might be the best fit for you, or at least what options you have, give me a call. That is the reason I make these videos. My phone number is going to be up on the screen, and I would genuinely love to hear from you. Okay, so back to Adel. Adel it's a smaller community on the western side of the metro. So you've got the Des Moines Metro, and then you have Waukee, which is our westernmost immediate suburb. And then if you go from Waukee's outer limit, just like 5 to 10 minutes further west, you're going to end up in Adel. The two ways that you're going to get to Adel are either on Hickman Road, which is a very popular thoroughfare, I think is what you might call it, that runs from the interstate all the way out west to Adel and beyond, or you can take the interstate. Now, that's our first con. We'll start with the cons this time, and mix it up a little bit. So, getting from Adel into Des Moines, it's not going to take you horribly long, but during rush hour, and people are going to mock me for this, I get frustrated with Des Moines, Iowa rush hour. I had clients here from Florida last week. They drove all over during rush hour, and they're like, oh, this is nothing. This is amazing. There's no traffic. During what is our rush hour, there's quite a bit of traffic on those roads. It never gets dead stop. You just have to slow down a lot, which, as someone who has grown up in small town Iowa, now lives in one of the largest cities in Iowa, it is still nothing compared to the traffic that you face everywhere else. But during rush hour, if you're from a place without much traffic, you may get frustrated. If you're from a place with a lot of traffic, you're hardly going to notice. So Adel, as I said, it's a smaller city. It has a population of about 6,500. To put that into perspective for you, let's take one of our more established, larger suburbs, West Des Moines. West Des Moines has a population of 72,000. If we compare Adel to like Grimes, which is another suburb that was on the smaller side but is getting larger, Grimes has a population of 16,000, and then Waukee also used to be pretty small. It now has a population of 31,000. That brings us to con number 2 of living in Adel, is it has a very small town feel right now, but if it follows in the growth path of Waukee, it's going to pretty rapidly get higher. There are a lot of people moving to Des Moines. Our economy is awesome. Our cost of living is awesome. It is a great place to live, to raise your family, and to be even on your own. So I could see, very realistically, Adel following in the growth path of Waukee someday and getting up to that larger population count. Another con of Adel is as it grows, it's getting more expensive. So as of right now, Adel, there is not much difference between a resale home in Adel, like the cost of what you could find a 1,000 square foot range for in Adel, compared to the surrounding suburbs. So like Grimes, Waukee, Norwalk, West Des Moines, you're not going to see too much of a price difference. But where you do start to see a price difference, because the cost of land is a lot cheaper, is going to be in the cost of new construction homes. So D.R. Horton, they do a lot of entry-level new construction. They have a lot of developments in Adel, and compared to the rest of the metro, that is where you are going to find the most affordable new construction homes in that entry-level price point. And then just to touch a little more on the housing market before we jump over to the positives of living in Adel, which I kind of talked about already when I was out walking around there, you're going to find just a really wide gambit of homes. You're going to have homes within the city limits, anywhere from like 180 to 400, 500,000, a mix of older homes and new construction homes that you're going to get that really small town, tight-knit community feel with. Or there are also a lot of acreages surrounding Adel. There's a couple of HOA communities, Wildwood being one of them. I'll show some photos on the screen. It is a beautiful neighborhood of trees, all wooded lots, very private, very large lots, half an acre up to 3, 4, 5 acres, and some really nice homes getting up to 800,000. It's an impressive neighborhood. It's a beautiful place to live. There's a lot of options for housing when it comes to living within the Adel city limits. And that brings me to the positives of Adel. So I had to get a drink. Like I said, it's hot out there. It's 70s today. We don't have our air on yet. We need to do that, but grabbed a LaCroix. Beach plum, it's a great flavor. Adel, within the city limits, you're going to be able to walk to a grocery store. They've got a Fairway there, locally owned restaurants, a coffee shop, Morning Grind, which is the cheapest locally owned or most affordable locally owned coffee shop in the metro, as far as I'm concerned, and actually pretty decent coffee. There's an ice cream shop there, Billy's Ice Cream, just outstanding ice cream, and plenty of locally owned restaurants, a really cool small town square feel to it. And then within Adel city limits too, you have most of your schools that your kids are going to be going to if you live in Adel. So the only one you're missing out on is grades 5 through 6, and that's going to be located in DeSoto. So it's the Adel DeSoto Minburn School District. It consistently ranks in the top 10 school districts in Iowa. Roughly 170 students in each class, and DeSoto is about 10 minutes south of Adel. So grades 5 through 6, that's the only time your kids will be going to a school that's not within the city limits. Adel is also connected to the bike trail system that connects the rest of the metro together. I've talked about this before. It runs all over. It's one of the best bike trail systems in the country. Adel connects to the Raccoon River Trail. So if you're an avid biker, you can get from Adel via bike to downtown, all the way up to Ankeny, pretty much anywhere without having to stop for traffic or get off of the trail system. That's a really huge perk to living in the Des Moines Metro. And then the last thing I'll leave off on today about Adel is they've got a lot of fun small town community events. They have a sweet corn festival every summer. I grew up in Northwest Iowa. Shout out to Esterville. They have a sweet corn festival which it's a very Iowa thing, a festival for sweet corn. But the sweet corn that you get at one of these festivals, it's the best darn sweet corn you're ever going to have in your life. And growing up as a kid, I was always just so jazzed every time the sweet corn festival would come around in June. It was so much fun. I have to imagine the one they do in Adel is the same, if not better. It's just a really great place to live in a quiet, close-knit community, still being close to the rest of the metro and the amenities that you want to have there, but being a little bit separate from it, and having a smaller community to live in. And I'm going to wrap up there today. Like I said, I'm a real estate agent. I work with people relocating to the Des Moines Metro all the time, and I love it. If there are any questions you have on this video, or on Adel, I guess, or anywhere else in the metro, anything else concerning your move that I can help with, I'll put my number on the screen. Please give me a call anytime. I'd love to hear from you. And I've got plenty more videos like this on my channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.